Hello everyone, welcome back. I am Joe Figueroa with another video in our series Anatomy of the Dance, where I break down social dancing count for count, pointing out all the dancers do. This week's video is addressing a subscriber's comment, which segues well for me into a new topic I want to discuss, dance floor etiquette. So please share, like, subscribe. If you'd like to support the channel, we now have a link in the description, but you better do it fast because we're starting right now. So I don't know about your city, but here in Philly, everyone was chomping at the bit to get out dancing again. Since the nation started to get a handle on COVID, places started reopening for Latin dance. I was just as anxious to hit the dance floor, so I went and got my shot, looked up some spots to try, and went with a bunch of my students and friends. I was having a pretty good time. And then, this happened. So a couple of days later, after the concussion subsided, I noticed this comment on one of my videos. Which brings us here. 5 tips for dancing on a cramped dance floor. In no particular order, these are all equally important. Number 1, smaller steps. I feel like this is something that starts to happen with dancers the more polished they become. But it's still worth mentioning that taking smaller steps help you move on a cramped dance floor. Look at this dance with Jose Diaz and Valentini. Jeffrey picked a great dance, but not only are the principal couples displaying the examples I'm citing here, so are many of the other couples on the dance floor. Check this out. You will notice that Jose and Lara take small steps to keep within their space. I notice that they almost never go beyond this black line of tape here on the carpet. It's as if they have chosen that as an imaginary wall that they will go up to, but not beyond. On their other side, the couple is dancing perpendicular to Jose and Lara. Hey, it's Oleg. Oleg's line of demarcation is not only this couple, but also the corner of the dance floor, which is also a good tip, especially if you're at a congress or festival. Try dancing toward the edges of the dance floor. One benefit is that you are usually only confining yourself within 3 boundaries instead of 4, because you likely won't have a couple on one side of you, giving you room to move. Another little secret is that more advanced dancers tend to stick to the outskirts of the dance floor, so you can find and get a dance with that lead or follow you've been looking for more easily. Number 2, subdued styling. Not to say that you shouldn't add styling into your dancing, whether you're a lead or a follow, but keeping it simple and close to the body is a better option than far-reaching arm movements behind or to the side of you. Long extensions are for performances. On the social dance floor, they have less utility and can cause more problems than they're worth. But styling is natural and in many cases necessary. Follows in those cases, it's best to keep your extremities within you and your partner's frame, or you and your partner's line. Look at how Lara extends her right arm to style here on the count of 2, when she is stepping forward. If you're dancing on 1, this would happen on count 5. So even though her arm is being swung back, it's still within the space she was just in, so technically still her space, not the other couples. I've never danced with Lara, but I'm sure she's watching the other couples as she glides across the floor, just as Jose is. Another great styling tip, which is also a good way to let the other couples know which space is yours, is to swing your hair. Check out Lara's movements as she comes out of a crossbody lead, or turn of different types. She uses her long wavy hair like another extremity, graceful and smooth. That point helps me to segue into tip number 3.
Total situational awareness.
Okay.
You look, you listen, you smell, and you remember to check your 6. It means behind you.
Mind your surroundings. A good lead considers not only what their partner does, but also what the surrounding couples might do. I know that's what I do. Look at this example here, which kind of ties tips 2 and 3 together. Jose is about to give Lara a crossbody lead, but look at what he did first. He glanced at the couple behind him, the couple toward the black line of demarcation, likely to make sure he didn't slam his partner into an oncoming dancer. He gives a quick look and can see 2 things. First, the lead has his back to them and is likely not paying attention to where Jose and Lara are. Second, whatever the couple is going to do next will likely move in the opposite direction, so he hard brakes to meet Lara in the middle and create a clockwise rotation. Being a pro, he's likely going to bring Lara full circle, bringing her back to the point where the rotation began. He does so, and look at what happens. A slight collision back to back by both follows. Not too bad. It happens. Both follows meet up at the black line of demarcation at the exact same time. Jose displayed courtesy to his partner as well as the surrounding couples. He could tell from that collision that this lead is kind of in a zone and not as aware of his surroundings as, say, Oleg and his partner, or even this couple. So going forward, considerations must be made. Which brings me to tip number 4. Discipline and consideration. A good dancer considers their partner as well as the couples around them. Check out this piece right here toward the end of the dance. Jose leads Laura into a simple walk step behind him, switching his handhold for an arm connection to lead her walk step. Places his hand behind her back to bring her back to him. Follows, notice her arm styling is straight up and above their heads. A safe space. Jose places his right hand to the small of Laura's back. I think initially to lead her into a copa to inside turn. But right about here, he notices that this couple is moving toward their imaginary boundary. So he cuts the movement short by keeping her within frame, thereby creating a different movement. I could be wrong, but I think he didn't want to risk sending Laura into the oncoming couple like before, so he altered the movement. Even this final crossbody lead here is cut short. Did he just want to end in an embrace, or did he anticipate that the other couple was going to end in a dip and didn't want to run the risk of another collision? The last tip I'll give, but I feel is the most important, is clear throughout this entire dance from this couple, and this couple, and this one, and this one, and it's also what is not displayed here. I'm not bitter. Dancing in a slot. When you see clips like this, where so many are dancing on the same floor, what they are doing is selecting a linear space to dance in and sticking to it. Even when performing circular movements, the starting and end points are usually the ends of the line you're dancing on. I always tell my students that you can lengthen your line, but you want to avoid widening your line. Another piece of this tip is using the line to your advantage. I usually tell my leads that they want to maintain the center of the line, but in a cramped space, it might be better to trade the end point of the line with your partner. That way you are always defining the line. Another good thing about dancing in a straight line is its economical value in relation to everyone else on the floor that is also keeping a straight line. Think of sardines in a can. So many can fit into one container because they are arranged neatly in narrow straight lines. On a dance floor, you can have the same idea. If everyone is dancing in a narrow slot, it feels like
we have the whole floor!
So there you go. 5 great tips for dancing on a cramped dance floor. Now this dance floor and this dance floor was packed, but still had plenty of room, if you know what you're doing. As you grow as a dancer, whether leading or following, you'll find yourself doing all of these eventually, and at some point all at the same time. I don't really believe in smaller moves or larger moves. It's all about having an understanding of movements and being able to make micro adjustments in real time. The more time you spend on the dance floor honing your skills, gaining more understanding, the easier it becomes. You'll be looking as smooth as Jose and Laura in no time. That does it for me. Thank you all so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you want to support the channel, there's a link in the description. Thanks to Jeff for the comment. You can all help me to give you what you want to see if you comment, like, and subscribe. I'll see you in the next one, and hopefully very soon on the dance floor.